and blessings, love and light, kings and queens. Welcome to another episode of Queen Up. It is April and we are focused on relationships. Today, joining me are our royal representatives, Kim B.
Good morning.
Dr. J.
Hi.
Miss Royal.
Hi.
And today joining us is the lovely Regina Haywood. She is the owner and operator of the House of Sweetsss, and we will be hearing from her later on in the show. Ladies, you look so pretty in your pink.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To you.
Okay, ladies, let's get this party started with our first Queen Quality segment. Cheater, cheater, pumpkin eater. So there have been a lot of foolishness going on with social media with respects to relationships and people just not doing right. Why can't y'all do that, right? Spike Lee said do the right thing, but no, I don't want to. So recently, Derek Jackson, he is an author and a speaker, and apparently he speaks to, couples about having a wholesome, healthy relationship in marriage and all the wonderful things that you should do. And guess what? We found out that he's been seeing another woman, actually multiple women. So he's been Yeah, I know. So, if anybody knows me and what I've been through in my past, this segment kind of, just didn't sit right with me to discuss. So we're gonna have Miss Royal take the lead with this because I will be here all day talking about cheating and the shenanigans of the good pastor. So, Miss Royal.
Yeah, I just want to add about the Derek Jackson thing. I was pretty disappointed in him. I thought, I don't even know how he popped up on my Facebook. And I just started watching some of the videos, and I'm like, wow, this guy is pretty good.
Yeah.
And, I started sharing some of his stuff.
Yeah.
When I heard about the cheating scandals, I was really appalled. And so, they have this thing that all the guys were saying, black men don't cheat.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so it was really disheartening. But then, at the end of the day, I realized that he probably was trying to sell books more than anything,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he's married and he really should not have been putting himself out there with other women in that fashion, because at the end of the day, it's going to
not. Yes.
One of the things that I didn't like is that he did an interview, or I guess, confession or apology to the public about his behavior, and his wife was with him. And what I didn't like was the way social media treated her. Like it was her fault because she's not as glamorous.
They always try to do.
It's if you maybe fixed yourself up, maybe he wouldn't be cheating. No, don't do that.
If it's in you, it's in you.
Correct. I was really kind of appalled by the way people were behaving with her. I just, how do you blame the victim?
Right.
Because, she was the one that was violated. Right. And what was also disheartening was that most of the comments were coming from women.
Yes.
But I didn't see but the guys, mostly the guys were complaining about the man. I didn't see many women that complained about his advice.
Oh, no, I didn't see too many women complain about his advice. I saw the women complaining about the way his wife looked.
Right.
And maybe if she had done so-and-so, maybe
if
she did
Nope. He took those vows. Those vows.
Right.
And so
It's
just like, once again, Kim B is not married, but if I were, my husband represents me and I represent my husband.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to make sure my husband elbows is greased up at all times and his hair is groomed, and so he should have been focused more on his wife than on another woman.
Right.
But they also had pictures of, when they were younger, and she was kind of like a, plain Jane. She wasn't like overly glamorous then.
Right.
And let me just say this, and I love Beyonce. Everybody knows that that's my girl. But as wonderful as she is, as beautiful as she is, she was cheated on too.
Yeah.
So it does not
Doesn't
matter.
make a difference who you
Right,
are.
exactly.
Exactly.
You could be beautiful
If
inside
it's
and
in
out.
you, it's in you.
Right,
Right.
exactly. So I just don't understand how people put the onus on the victim instead of the person who actually did the violation. And as I was saying, you could be beautiful inside and out. You could be a praying woman. You could be cooking, cleaning,
Right.
generous, you know, swinging from
Yes.
the chandelier, dipping it and doing it. And guess what? If he
You
wants to cheat,
still,
he's going to cheat. That's
That's
the
right.
bottom line.
cheater, pumpkin eater.
Well, while all those things are true, I also think though that just as in the case of Beyonce, you know, and Jay-Z, they made a decision to work it out and to push forward. And so, I mean, obviously we don't know their exact situation, but the point of it is that it's not over. You know, there's still hope, and you know, with God and with commitment, you know,
Amen.
things can turn around.
Absolutely. And listen, we are in no position, and we're not telling anybody to leave. We're not telling anyone to stay. We're just saying know and understand your worth and govern yourself.
Absolutely.
That's just bottom line. And there are relationships who do survive infidelity. I just was really just taken back to how this woman was treated. People kind of rallying around her.
Yeah, that's sad.
She was attacked.
And this, as if she's not going through her own emotional thing. I remember when I was cheated on once, and I don't know why I thought it was my fault. You know, it took me years to get over that it had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And people will make you feel that way. I was going through my things. I was told, oh, well, you had to do something. What were you doing?
Nope.
Like, nope. Some people
taking care of my business.
Exactly. Some people just want their cake and eat it too.
Right.
If it's in you, it's just in you.
Right. And to me, that's fine. Just make that known. Don't act like you want to.
Absolutely.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna move away from the cheaters.
And the pumpkin eaters.
Yes, all of them. And Dr. J and Kim B are going to answer this question for us. Is it okay for your spouse to have friendships with the opposite sex? Dr. J?
Well, it depends. And I say that because at the end of the day, if you have known that person of the same sex for a long time, then you can say, and the nature of that relationship. I mean, if you all were, you know, deep into this relationship, intimate and that kind of thing, that gets really tricky, in my opinion. And then if that person has a relationship with you as well as your significant other, that can work as sincere, true, authentic relationship. But I mean, those are hard to come by. So I think it's a very hard thing to balance. So I would say it's not optimal. It can be done, but it's tricky.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you have to have boundaries. Boundaries.
Absolutely.
So that's where I am on that.
Well, my opinion from a personal relationship, one of my best friends is a man. He's my son's godfather. I've been friends with him for 36 years. And so he got married and I embraced his wife. And so when he would come over, I will always, you know, encourage him to make sure that he brought her to, you know, all my events so that it didn't look like it was something that it was not.
Right.
So I love my best friend, but I'm not in love with him. So it is something different. And so you have to embrace the other spouse and no secrets, you know, so it can work. But Dr. J, you were so right. It has to be boundaries on both parts.
Yes, I agree.
Ms. Royal?
Yeah.
I agree. It's a respect thing that you have to have.
Absolutely.
If one of the friends doesn't have the respect, then it's not going to work, and it's not worth it.
Right.
I agree.
But I also think that, let's just say hypothetically, if that person, if your spouse or significant other is not comfortable, I think you have to be willing to let it go.
Absolutely.
And that's a hard thing.
Yes,
because
it
you're
is.
choosing.
It
But
is.
if you're in that relationship, maybe over time it'll change, but at least initially you have to be willing to let it go.
Right.
And recognize that your spouse or significant other is more important.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a good point, Dr. J.
Yes.
Regina, do you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Well, I'm married, so and my husband nor I have friends of the opposite sex. I mean, we just don't. There's no reason, we just don't. So
yeah,
I've been watching from very young, and I really admire that.
Thank you.
Very young, and they had their kids and been married, and
Yes.
house in Maryland, just living so beautifully.
Thank you, Renee.
That's awesome. So I agree with all of you ladies as well. I think that it can happen. You know, my husband has friendships with females. I have 2 male friends who I'm close with, and it's all about respect.
Yes.
And I think the word for the day, since April, we're focused on relationships, the word for the day will probably be boundaries. So I'm sure that's come up again. Boundaries are super important.
Yes,
so
it is.
I do think that a relationship, a friendship can be successful when everyone is on the same page.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to our queenly question of the day. Ladies, do you feel that social media ruins relationships? So I don't think it ruins relationships. I think that it can create problems if you don't have ding, ding, ding boundaries.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yes.
What about you, Dr. J?
I think you're exactly right. Like, for example, I think that it's not a bad idea to know what's on your spouse's Facebook page or who he's friends with. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Also, you know, just making sure like you're not doing it at dinner, as far as, you know, looking at your phone, or, you know, when it's late at night, you're not sitting up there studying your phone instead of spending time. And so it's a good thing because you can keep in touch with friends, family, that kind of thing, but you have to keep it in check.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Kimby?
Well, we all know I'm not married. And so I don't really have too many Facebook friends. Nicole Glenn came on my Facebook friends. So, but if I were to be married, I don't even know if I would want my husband to be my Facebook friend. I don't have anything going on my Facebook. So.
But you wouldn't have a problem with it. Like, you don't think that it would ruin your relationship, right?
Because I'm going to take care of my business, and my first priority is keeping home happy. So that wouldn't be a problem with Kim B.
Yes, girl. Okay, Regina, what about you?
I mean, my husband has Facebook as well as I. I mean, I don't post anything on it. He doesn't. I mean,
kudos to you, Renee. I mean, that's right.
Right. That's
right.
I
mean, I don't have an issue with it. I mean, I feel like if y'all relationship is secure, then what could you know?
Somebody from Facebook do.
Right.
Exactly.
They got your home.
Yeah, so I don't have an issue with that.
Okay. What about you, Miss Royal?
I mean, I agree. I mean, I post a lot. You know, I be out a lot, doing a lot of things, and I'm not married, but you know, I have a lot of male friends that are more like colleagues that we work together, and I do take a lot of pictures with them. But I mean, the relationship that I have, you know, he knows what kind of things that I do, and you know, he knows that there's nothing else going on besides that. So I think as long as you make the person that you're with, they're secure and you're honest and open, you know, then it's not a problem. But I've seen, you know, there are guys that I know that are in relationships and then they don't post their significant other. And so the women become insecure, and that's where it gets messy at.
Yeah.
But it goes back to respect and boundaries again.
Yeah, boundaries, important. I
Mhm.
don't think there's anything wrong with being confidential, maybe private, but your significant other shouldn't be a secret.
Right.
But
Exactly.
I don't post everything that Cam and I do, but people know that there is a Cam,
Right.
Yes, we did.
and vice versa.
Right.
I'm Mr. Chocolate. They all know. So, yeah, I agree. Again, boundaries. That's the magic word of the day.
Mhm.
So we're going to move on, ladies, and talk about dating apps and how to navigate through these apps to find what works best for you. So, Miss Royal, can you start us off?
Well, I can give you an experience that I had with a dating app.
Yes, please. Share.
So a couple of months ago, I had a breakup, and so I had decided that I wanted to speak to a counselor, a relationship counselor, just to kind of, you know, bounce some stuff off to make sure I was in the right space internally. And so that was one of the recommendations for him. To me, he gave me a homework assignment to sign up for these dating apps. And so I signed up in the dating apps, but honestly, I didn't like it. I felt like I was like in a meat market, like on a rack.
What kind of rack were you on?
And so I just decided to get out of it because honestly, I don't. I know a lot of people do it, and that's what he said to me, that that's the way to go now. But I don't feel comfortable with it because I think that I'm more old school and traditional. That I would like to meet somebody naturally, like maybe if I'm in the supermarket or Home Depot and we just bump into each other or something like that. So I didn't really like the dating app thing.
So tell us what you didn't like. So you felt like you were in a meat market. Were people just like approaching you crazy?
Yeah,
Was it just
like it
too
was
much?
just too much. It was
Okay.
too much. And then not only that, but I mean, I have a cousin that told me, because I had discussed this with her, and she said she has friends that went on dating apps and they're very successful. But I don't know, it was just scary and overwhelming to me, and I just didn't like it.
Now, are these dating apps? Look, I got a lot of questions. Are these the dating apps that you pay for?
I think that there's some kind of free trial. There's a free trial, but then at some point you do have to pay. I know one was, I think it's called Bumblebee or something like that.
That's one.
And yeah, and what was the other one? Oh, ooh, I don't even remember the names. I do remember that one, and there was a couple of others, but he gave me like a list of them. But I don't know. It was just weird to me. I'm like I said, I'm old school, so I don't like that. And then they have the stuff where what do they call it? When people are putting pictures, but then it's not really them.
Oh, catfishing?
Yes, that. So that's what kind of, you know, they had the show on MTV. Was that MTV one or VH1 years ago, right? Years ago. Yeah, so that's why I'm like, no, I'll pass.
Okay.
Well,
Kim.
well, Miss Royal, I too have tried dating apps. My preference would be the ones that you pay for.
Okay.
Because people are more serious when they have to, you know, pay a membership, because it's not a cheap membership. That's number one.
Okay, that's
and the dating app that I was on, the paid one, first it was a picture, but then you would either Skype the person, FaceTime the person, WhatsApp the person. And so my whole philosophy used to be just like yours. You know, I would prefer to meet somebody at the supermarket, you know, at the bus stop, whatever. But now this new generation of dating is totally on your phone, on your laptop. So a lot of people are looking for love and a lot of people are bored. So let me tell you a little bit about looking for love. Some people, they want to get married like yesterday. And some people want to turn you into a text girlfriend, boyfriend relationship. They want to text you every morning, good morning, don't say nothing all day, but good morning. Nope. My response would be, hi, thank you so much for your morning greeting, but I'm not interested in that. If you're not willing to call me, meet up with me, because of course I'm gonna meet you at the restaurant. You're not gonna come to my house. I'm gonna meet you at the restaurant. But we are not going to be going back and forth if you're living local. If you're living 2 hours or closer, I need to meet up with you or bye.
Right.
And so that was my experience with the dating app. Nicole knows, since we've been friends for over 20 something years, I went all the way to Canada to meet somebody.
Wow.
But I got all his information before I got there. He picked me up from the airport, and I stayed at a hotel where I'm the only person who had the kid.
Right. Wow, that's nice.
And so in my mind, as I'm getting older, when you meet anybody, they're strangers. I don't care if you met the man at the bus stop, at the supermarket, or even at church. That's a whole different segment, meeting those men at church. Woo! They're not Christians. I'm not being judgmental, but everybody you meet at church is not a Christian.
Oh, yeah.
Right about that.
And every person you meet on a dating site that has Christian, they're not Christian acting. I'm not saying they're not Christians, but they're not acting like men or women of God.
Wow.
Okay.
Don't keep on asking me about pictures. I'm not giving you no pictures of me with nothing on but fully dressed.
Right.
You should send a picture of you holding the Bible. That's
And so, you know, now in 2021, they have dating apps for men and women and dating apps for gay people. Of course, I'm not being judgmental, but they do have dating apps for gay people.
For everybody. Like everybody has. I actually saw one for like if you want to date like a sugar daddy or something like that.
Oh yes.
Oh.
A millionaire. Yeah, like wow, really? Got all categories. Yes, when I did research.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
So it's a job to be on a dating app.
Yeah.
It's a job that's all day long. Those people will reach out to you 100,000 times a day. You have to cut them off. No.
Yeah.
But the paid ones are a little bit better. The men are professional men. And so that's what I like versus going to the regular Black Christian people meet or regular Black, you know, you got to open up your mind sometimes. Regina, I see you laughing, but girl, you got to open up your mind sometimes.
Wow. No, but you're very
wow.
That's very smart.
Yeah. Okay, ladies. Thanks for the information about the dating apps. We want everybody to be safe and use wisdom when you are operating these
Absolutely.
apps. Yes.
Meet them at the restaurant.
Absolutely.
Don't even tell her what kind of car you got.
No information.
And do a peekaboo first.
Just in case. Okay, Dr. J is going to take us to our next segment for our Crown collaborations. We have a special guest with us, Regina Haywood. She is the owner and operator of House of Sweetsss in Hagerstown, Maryland, and she is here with us, and she is going to give us a little cookie decorating demonstration on, you know, something we can do for date night, maybe after we meet the right person on a dating app. Or at church, you never know. Okay, Dr. J.
Well, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. The first question I have is, what's your inspiration? When did you know that this is what you wanted to do? That's the first question.
I have to be honest. Decorating cookies wasn't an inspiration for me. It just happened.
Huh.
It just happened. Now, I am very crafty, you know, but with baked goods, no, I have never tried baked goods. Okay. So how I got into making cookies, my son was having a Halloween party. And at this time, you were able to bring in treats, whether they were store-bought or you made them, they didn't care. Mm-hmm. So I knew, you know, everybody bringing cupcakes, which was store-bought. So I was like, let me try something different. So I was like, oh, let me go on Pinterest, because Pinterest at the time was very popular when I popped on with the cookies. So I came across some things and I was like, oh, maybe I think I could do this.
Aww.
I've never baked sugar cookies, cakes, regular box mix, yes, the typical. But making something from scratch and actually giving it to strangers, no. So I came across a recipe on Pinterest and I took that and I tried it. And I said, okay, I'm gonna make some Halloween cookies and take them to the class and give them out to the kids. So that's what I did. So it just happened. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going into the baking industry or anything like that. It just happened that way. So like I said, I made the cookies for Halloween, took them in, and I asked my son what did his classmates and the teachers and them thought of the cookies. He said everybody loved them. Now they were very crappy looking, but they taste amazing. And that's how House of Sweets became.
Wow. So how did you expand from Halloween to like cookies of love or whatever?
So being that everybody loved the Halloween cookies, I said, okay, Thanksgiving's coming up. Let me try Thanksgiving. And then Christmas is coming up. Let me do Christmas. But when I made the cookies for Christmas, one of the lunch attendants saw the cookies. So she asked my son, where did he get the cookies from? He said, my mother made them. And she said, huh? And when I picked my son up that afternoon, I heard somebody say, Mrs. Haywood. And I told her, I'm like, yes. She's like, hey, Giovanni had these cookies at lunchtime. And he said, you made them. And I was like, oh yeah, I did make it. It was a test run because, Christmas is coming up. And she was like, okay, I would like to put in an order. And I was like, an order for what? She said some cookies. And I said, So I said, okay, I go home and try to come up with some pricing because I never sold baked goods. And she said, okay, well, when you get a price, let me know because I want to order some cookies. And I said, okay. So she was my first order, and that was in 2014. Oh, wow. She was my initial first order. The lady worked at my son's school. Yeah, she was a lunch attendant. And it snowballed from there. Other people started to see the cookies, so other people started wanting to order. We are a military family. My husband retired now. So we were stationed in Georgia, Fort Benning. So my clients came from people on the post. So then I started to end up with clients from my husband's job, school, my kids' friends, and it basically it just snowballed. So once we moved from there to Maryland, I was like, okay, I still want to sell my cookies. And I said, I have to target the market here. And I basically try to find like a commercial kitchen so I could do my cookies that way. Cause I started to read up on like the different laws and everything of selling baked goods from home. So I came across a law called the Food Cottage Law for Maryland. So every state have this. A lot of people don't know it, but every state have their own food cottage laws on what you can sell from home and what you can't sell from home. So I read up on all that stuff, and then I contact the health department here in Maryland. So they told me exactly what I needed to do, and I told them what I was making, and they said, okay, I was approved to make the sugar cookies because they are non-hazardous, meaning this is not like fruits or meat or anything like that can spoil. Right. So they said it was a go. And they said, if you find a commercial kitchen, then you can make whatever it is that you want. So I said, okay. So I went through the process of finding a commercial kitchen in the area where I was previously living at, which was in Frederick, Maryland. And I did that for some time. And then they started to change the laws for food cottage home bakers, where you can actually bake and sell from home because you couldn't at first. So once they started to change the laws, because other people who were baking was like, look, we want to bake from home, and put that out there to their senators and everything. So they came up with a bill and pushed it through. Nice. And that was in 2019. So that's how I'm able to sell my cookies and bake from home, because previously you couldn't. So it's like, a commercial kitchen, it's like having a storefront. It's a lot of overhead with that. So I had overhead with that, with rent and, things like that, and time, and, other people are using the commercial kitchen as well. And I was like, okay, I really like this. I'm going to stick with it. And House of Sweets, the name became, my husband gave that name to me because I would bake in the stuff from home. So he said, why don't you call it House of Sweets? And I was like, okay, that's what I'm sticking with. Because I had a few different names. Yeah. So that one sound, it just fit because I was started from home and now I'm still making them from home. So
that's awesome.
What a wonderful story.
It is awesome. So Regina's going to give us a quick demonstration on how we can decorate cookies for date night.
Yeah, so I baked some cookies here, and basically you decorate it with royal icing, which I can show you. This is the royal icing. I mean, you could color it whatever color you like using gel food coloring. They have, you know, every color you could think of. So I'm gonna set this up. Yes, I'm gonna need you to.
That's right, hubby. You better be a help to your wife.
Hey, I'm gonna need you to let me adjust myself. You could pick the laptop and just point it down.
Okay, no problem. Cookies. Okay.
That's my husband.
Aww.
So basically this is the bag that I put the icing in.
Okay.
So you would cut the tip. I would say cut it small because once you cut it too big, you can't adjust that. You know, too much of the icing will flow out. So I just cut the tip. All right, baby, pick it up. All right, so here's my tray with the cookies. I could do this one because you can see this one really good. And you would just hold it, just this way. You will hold the bag up, put a little pressure, and outline the cookie, basically. You will outline the whole cookie. I mean, of course, it took me some years to, that's okay. That happens from time to time. It took me some years to master all of this. See, I just did 2 different ways, if you noticed. So you will outline the cookie. And typically for me to decorate cookies, the time depends on how much of detail you're gonna put on it.
Okay.
And then you would squeeze to get more to flood it. So flood it out, but you will go around the whole cookie. So
you're flooding, that means you're just filling it in.
Right, you're just filling in the outline. The outline is a barrier to keep the icing from basically going over.
Like tracing when you're coloring.
Right.
So let me just say, while she's demonstrating, Cam and I had the Valentine's Day package. The gift. Again, thank you, Ms. Royal and Regina, for that. Yeah. And it came with the, the icing packs or whatever. And what she's doing may look easy, but let me tell you, it is not that easy. Some of those cookies looked a hot mess when we were done. It was good. It was so good, but yeah, it wasn't as neat as what she's doing
right
now.
So I take a scribe and I will, move it around to fill in. Oh, I'm making a mess, Lord.
And that's just to even it out, right?
Right.
Okay.
Just to even it out. Or sometimes I give it a little shake.
Oh. Wow.
Wow.
And because you outlined it, it won't flood. So that looks so nice and so neat.
It does.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Wow. I have some sprinkles and that I will put on. And these are edible. So you can eat the sprinkles. This is just a quick way to decorate cookies. Because you received the cookie kit and it came with 3 packs of sprinkles and 3 icings. Yes. 3 different colors, yes.
Yes.
And there you go.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
You just gave us all hope that we could probably do that for date night. Let's see what happens.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. So that's a quick way you can do it. Of course, if you look on my Instagram, some of them are very detailed. I have done
they're beautiful.
Characters, college, all kinds of designs.
Yeah, she's
and
very
of course,
talented, ladies and gentlemen. You definitely should check her out. Regina, could you tell us how we can get in contact with you?
Okay, so you can get in contact with me through an email, which is House of Sweets with 3 S's at the end, or Instagram, House of Sweets, Facebook, House of Sweets. And of course, I have a phone number, 301-732-9130. So I can be contacted by all 4 of those different ways.
Awesome.
And I have also, I have a website too, houseofsweet.com.
Yes, tell us all. Yes, House of Sweets with
S's.
3
S's. Yes, because I'm extra sweet.
Oh, that's right, Regina.
Aww.
Yes. We like that.
Yes.
Okay, ladies, this episode has been dedicated to relationships. Relationships are work. Don't expect perfection. Don't expect easy. Good relationships take time. They take patience. They take 2 people working together for a common goal. Great relationships will always have God as its center.
Amen.
So keep that in mind. Also understand that having a good relationship is not always about finding the right person, but it is also about being the right person. That sometimes we need to kind of step back and take a look at self. We encourage you to continue with our blessing bag campaign. We are still contributing to our local communities by creating blessing bags to be a blessing to others. We want to spread love wherever it's possible, combat all that negativity, and do what God would have us to do. We also want you to like, share, and subscribe to our videos. Please find us on social media platforms, as well as YouTube and iHeartRadio under Respect My Royalty. Also want to just take a minute to say that we recently lost a legend. We lost another legend. DMX has passed, sadly. I did not know him, but I met him. And I have to say that he was just so very kind, so down to earth. There are a couple of pictures floating around somewhere. This was back in the day before they had digital, where you actually had to get the pictures printed out, take them and get it developed. There are a couple of pictures of me and him talking, and I have the biggest cheese Kool-Aid smile that you could imagine, because I was caught in mid-laugh, because he was just so funny during that 5-minute conversation. And I mentioned before that I was really kind of taken back that he actually talks like how he rapped, which was funny to me because I did not expect it. But we will miss him, and I was really sad that he has passed, that he transitioned, but I believe that he is with the King, and because he had a relationship with God. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. Again, you look so beautiful in your pink. I appreciate you. On behalf of Dr. J, Miss Royal, Kim B, and the lovely Regina Haywood, I am Lady Nicole, reminding you to always be the queen that God created you to be. God bless.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.